Greetings and welcome to my quick tutorial on AI3. You might have seen it before, but you probably didn't know what you were supposed to do. This here is a new feature. Allows you to ask questions like, what's your name? The AI3 responds here in this little box. And as you can see, double-click on any word will search for that word. Collocation is a cool feature where if you click here you can see what word usually follows that word and how often that occurs. So in Wikipedia, CMOS technology occurs 38 times as the most common collocation of CMOS. If you click on that, you can find out a bunch of collocations, so you can see, these are the 38 times CMOS technology was used. But we don't want to learn about CMOS technology, we want to learn about something else. Here's the new feature that I added today. What is technology? You can ask AI3 and it'll just tell you. Technology is the practical application of science to commerce or industry. If you want, you can double-click on any word and it will bring you to here. You can ask the question, what is practical? Practical is concerned with actual use or practice, right? So you can keep on double-clicking until you get bored. Hopefully you won't get too bored, because there's so many cool things you can do with this interface. A lot of people have asked me, why do you want this interface? Like, what does it make me better at? What does it help me with? Collocations are weird because you don't really use them in day-to-day life unless you're a writer. If you write a lot, you find yourself running over problems, and those problems can absolutely be solved by understanding how words go together. And if you find a word that goes really well together with another word, you can just put them together and see what happens. So for example, extrovert's an interesting word. It's used by a certain type of person for a certain use. It's gaining popularity these days. You can see that these collocations don't actually give us a very good understanding of what's going on. You can see like there's only a couple uses of it anywhere. That probably means that the word extrovert's not a very encyclopedic type of word, right? The fact that it is used actually means that it's a popular word and has worth in the types of things that Wikipedia is trying to describe. For example, observations on the feeling of the beautiful and sublime. So if you're interested in that page, you can just click on that and see what paragraph looks like. Sanguine, so extrovert with high energy and optimistic ideals. Actually doesn't make sense to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click the link to Wikipedia, right? Clearly I need to fix that link, but you can see here that it's a book by Immanuel Kant, so that's actually a worthwhile book to understand. Kant's a philosopher, in case you didn't know. So let's go back home. What do you want to do with AI3? Well, let's think about what you might want to write about, or what you might want to think about. See if AI3 knows about Molotov. See, when when AI3 doesn't know what Molotov is, it'll simply do a simple similar search. So Molotov and question marks, it grabbed this and that. It said, what are sentences that include that and that? And I found this one here. Only Molotov, myself, and now you are in the know. Is it possible? Interesting sentence there. And so if you're having writer's block and you just want to take a look at perhaps, there's an interesting combination of words. So if you go to secret, right, you'll see that it's a secret. It's interesting. Two people have promoted it already, so it's a popular sentence. You see here, it's a secret with a bang. It's interesting. It's upvote that. The idea of upvotes and downvotes come from Reddit. I've chosen to change the name of them to promote and demote. Really, I don't like the idea of voting for words or sentences, so I think that promotion and demotion helps. So let's go back to what we were thinking earlier. So secret and police. So here we have secret and police used right next to each other, right? So you can see like there's a whole bunch of interesting things. You can actually see that most of them have to do with the Soviets and the Germans, right? Secret police was very ingrained in their society during a very important time in history, which is what encyclopedias are good for, learning about history and so on and so forth. You can see communists and socialists have to do with Gestapo. So that's interesting connection there. So let's grab a random word. Omnipresent. Let's see if AI understands omnipresent. AI doesn't know what omnipresent means. So we go back and omnipresent authority figure. Oh, this is from 1984. Let's do a collocation on authority. Of course, we don't get the word before the word we want, and so that's one of the weaknesses of AI3. That's all right though. We can absolutely find things with what we have. In fact, AI3 is incredibly useful. As you can see here, collocation is a really expensive task, whereas talk is not nearly as expensive. Authority is the power or right to give orders or make decisions. Right. So, collocation is done. So authority of, authority to, authority dot, authority comma, authority in, authority over, authority and, authority on. So yeah, if you want to learn more about these uses, you can click on any of these. Of course, be sure to promote anything that you think is worthwhile subject to talk about. This Talk to AI3 is based upon an artificial intelligence I wrote. The funny thing is that if you type what is whatever, right, noun, a verb, whatever, you'll end up going to WordNet. So WordNet is a piece of software written by Princeton. So it's an interesting piece of software that has associations between words and their meaning, and also quite a lot of other things. So it's kind of cool. So let's think of a random word, right? See what it thinks. Right is being relocated directly toward the side of the body to the east when facing north. So that's an interesting definition. Of course, it's one definition of right because there's many, many definitions of right, and none of them actually mean the same thing. Of course, up here at the top, always, there's about and help and contact. If you really, really think it's necessary to contact me about some issue, you can just paste it in there, click send, but I'd prefer that you email me. Help is actually description of how things work, right? And you can see it describes things. About is what the idea for AI3 is. I suggest you look it over and see what I wrote it for. So let's do search words. That's a useful function. Let's think of a collection of letters that doesn't mean anything. Let's try and just smash on the keyword. There we go. So that isn't going to end up producing any words because we have J, W, and then a bunch of other stuff. So let's remove the J and see what were. So you can see that all types of words have the piece were in it, and most of them are weird words, right? I don't even know what these words mean. Oh, these are like names. And it actually looks like it's Dutch because you can see South Africa and yeah, it's actually same guy. Yeah, born in the Netherlands. So yeah, that's AI3. On the home page, there's actually more things you can do with it. Common words is an interesting one. Like, it comes up with all the worthless words, the words that you shouldn't be looking for. Of course, American is a very popular word, and United, so on and so forth. These are words that come up multiple times, and you can see that all words are in the list of common words, going from most common to least common. In fact, if you wanted to, you could go to the address bar and type in a large number, and you'll get very, very uncommon words. Like, for example, you click on one, you can see, yeah, it only has these these sentences it's been used in. It's kind of cool, right? Hyperkeratotic. Weird. So yeah, if you switch to a lower number like 39, you can see really interesting words here. Poems. Interesting word. You can see that it only uses is and it never uses are. That's an unfortunate consequence of the current lack of pluralization. But we'll eventually solve that. Poems are a composition written in metrical feet, forming rhythmical lines. Wow. Metrical feet forming rhythmical lines. Yeah. Hope you have fun messing around with AI3. Meter. Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all. Have fun.